Greetings, fleshy mammals, and welcome back to another Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker build video. Today we are putting together the ultimate hidden mist build. Honestly, this one was a ton of fun to put together and a ton of fun to use. I hope you guys enjoy it. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go.
I'll erase you here.
Alright, starting things off with the weapon, I decided to go with Samehada. Now, honestly, you can go with any of the mist swords, but I decided to go with Samehada just because it has the best hit rate, the best reach, the best attack power. The only thing that it is really missing is speed. Its combos flow very well with this build, and that's why I decided to go with it. It fits the theme and it just works. It is still, in my opinion, the best weapon for the defense type in general. Honestly, a legendary weapon to be sure. Moving on to the ninja tool, I decided to go with the blast bomb. However, you can go with any ninja tool you want for this build because all of them work very well depending on your playstyle and how you want to use this build. Personally, I feel like the blast bomb just works very well for pretty much every situation, getting people off of points, extending combos, wall combos, just throwing it out randomly. It just works very well. However, you can use the smoke bomb on the ground and it'll work just as well as the blast bombs. Paper bomb, I feel like, just is a lot better to use in game modes like capture the flag or base battle. It's not very good for extending combos, obviously, and it's not very good for wall splat combos either, which is why the blast bomb I feel like is the best option because it does everything that the other ninja tools do, but you know, just a tad bit better, and you get a lot more damage out of the blast bomb, so that's why I like to use it. You can also use the scientific ninja tools, but I don't really feel like they fit the theme all that well, but you can still use them. Again, the ninja tool is completely up to you and your playstyle and how you want to use this build. So yeah, I decided to go with the blast bomb. That is my recommendation. Moving on to the skills. For the top skill, I decided to go with Power in Spades. Now what this does is, well, it increases your ninjutsu damage. Now, outside of very specific defense type jutsus, they don't really seem to do a lot of damage at base. So I decided to increase the damage of them because it is actually very important that you get a lot of damage out of these jutsus that I am using in this build. That's why I decided to use it, and you really can't go wrong with increasing the damage output of your build, honestly. For the bottom skill, I decided to go with Out of Thin Air, which decreases the amount of time you have to wait for your substitution, so you get your subs faster. Honestly, you can't go wrong with that either. The faster your substitutions charge, the less damage you're going to be taking in the long run, so I decided to go with that. Honestly, you just can't go wrong with it. You can also do decreases ninjutsu cooldown if you really want to. You can get all of these skills from 1010. You can change the skills on your outfits. You don't need to look weird to have these skills. You can change all the skills on the outfits. You don't need to look weird or nothing. I like how they made that quality of life change. Moving on to the accessory skill, I used Battle Hardened. Now basically what this does is it refills health after defeating an enemy, which defense types tend to get a lot of KOs, and honestly it's just very useful to be healing after you're defeating opponents because sometimes you don't have a teammate that wants to play healer, and sometimes you gotta be healing yourself, if you know what I mean. So yeah, those are the skills that I decided to go with for this build. Honestly, I feel like they play really well into the jutsus. For the first ninjutsu, I decided to go with the Water Shark Bomb Jutsu. Now, there are a few reasons why I made this choice. The first one is that it actually goes through walls a lot like the Water Dragon Jutsu, and it actually resets the cooldown on your opponent's ninjutsu. So it's a very disruptive jutsu, and this build is kind of based off of disruption, so it's very useful for that, especially if you know that your opponent, one of your opponents, has some really good jutsu that are charging up. It's also very good at stopping healers, okay? That is the one thing, okay? So a lot of teammates in this game, they don't like to target the healer. So if you are targeting the healer and you hit them with this ninjutsu, they're gonna have to keep resetting and keep freaking charging their goddamn healing jutsu. Alright? You can literally stop and shut down every healer if you are using this. Well, unless they have multiple healers at a time, but that's not as common in just quick play. So yeah, this jutsu is very disruptive and it works very, very well with this build, so that's why I decided to go with it. I tried out a whole bunch of other jutsus, and honestly, this one is just one of the best for this build. Moving on to the second ninjutsu, I decided to go with the water prison jutsu. Now this one is one of the new ones that was introduced with Zabuza, and honestly, this one is just a doozy. Alright, so basically, it does not have any armor whatsoever, so they can't interrupt you. However, it goes through blocks. You can also pre-use it on opponents who are down, and as soon as they get up, bam, they're trapped inside the water prison. It's very, very good because it goes through blocks, which is very good for wake-up attacks. It also does continuous damage, so basically, as soon as you trap them inside, they're just getting constant damage, and with the boosted ninjutsu damage, it's extremely powerful, especially at the end with the little explosion. Very, very good in my opinion, especially when you hit them with a jutsu as they're exploding out. I just love it. Also, it creates a clone that enemies can lock onto, which also disrupts their targeting. So overall, it's just a very disruptive jutsu. You can completely knock out a healer for a couple seconds. Hit them with the shark bomb jutsu as they're coming out, so they're completely useless for, I'd say, about like maybe 30 seconds tops. So you're basically knocking out some big players with this jutsu, and on top of that, it's just doing a ton of damage overall. So for the substitution jutsu, I decided to stick with the theme. However, you can use whatever jutsu you see fit. I decided to go with the water clone jutsu because, again, it fits the theme, and I just really like what it does. As soon as you substitute and the clone actually hits the opponent, it lowers their defense, so when you're coming at them from behind, you are doing more damage than what you were doing originally. Now this is very, very good, especially if you sub and use the water prison jutsu, because if you do that, then your water prison jutsu is doing more damage on top of already having the boosted ninjutsu damage, and then you can hit them with the water shark bomb jutsu and reset their jutsus on the way out. Honestly, I love this substitution. The cooldown is 30 seconds, which is why I have the shortens substitution cooldown, which is just absolutely amazing. Honestly, this whole build is just coming together, and it's really fun to play, guys. I really urge you guys to check it out. Alright, moving on to the ultimate jutsu. Well, who didn't see this one coming? I decided to go with the hidden mist jutsu. Now this jutsu is probably one of my new favorite jutsus. It is just absolutely OP, and I love it. Basically, you are making your opponents slower, blind, and they can't use their substitution jutsu. So if you die and your opponents are in a fight, okay, say there's a big team battle in the middle of the map, and you die, you spawn in, and you have this jutsu, it covers the whole map. It doesn't matter where you are, you're covering the entire map in this mist. They can't use their substitutions anymore, so you instantly have the upper hand. You are literally increasing your teammates' attack power, decreasing your opponent's movement speed, disabling their substitutions, and honestly, it is a huge 180 in 90% of the fights that I've been in. Anyone who uses this jutsu just turns the tide of battle so fast. It is a very, very good jutsu. However, another jutsu that I do recommend if you're trying to stick with the theme is the Super Shark Bomb jutsu, which is also very good, but it is a little bit too slow for my liking, and the Hidden Mist jutsu is just too good. It is the perfect jutsu for disruption, and I love it. This is just the biggest disruption build I have ever created, and it is a ton of fun to play with, guys. You guys don't even understand. So yeah, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, remember to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. It's been casual.